Hello, everybody. My name is Anastasia Sylenok, and here my colleague Anastasia Sleptsova. Very convenient. We are both Nastya. We are very glad to finally have and actually host this Alteration event because Digitizing.Space as a company was always there for you. The Alteration events on the backstage. We were answering your questions and making sure that everything goes smoothly from the technical point of view, from the technical facilitation. And today, me and Nastya will share some tips and tricks with you, and basically we'll tell you about different digital, also share our own experience. So basically, my part here is to give you some practical things, practical checklists that we use during our events. And Nastya will tell you the cases. Actually, Nastya, maybe you'll say a couple of words of what to expect from your speech.
Yes, sure. Thanks, Nastya, for introduction. Once again, I'm Nastya. We are actually working in a great tandem together with the other members of our team, which is now actually managing the backstage of Hopin. I am mostly responsible for program part and for marketing part, and analyzing the audience part. And you understand that it's also very complex process while you're creating online experiences for your audiences in cultural and creative spheres. And Nastya is actually a specialist in tech platforms and online tools. That's why we decided to share this content part in two. So basically, I will tell you more about our projects in the spheres of creative and cultural industries, and maybe invite you to some of our next adventures. So stay tuned. But first, let's go step by step. And Nastya is taking the stage, telling you about digital tools and platforms and digitalization in overall in cultural and creative spheres, which we are facing during these 2 years.
Yeah, thank you, Nastya. Okay, so let's start this. There are a lot of information that we'd like to share with you, but again, we understand that speaking about online digital tools, events, some other activities can take a lot of time, and basically we can talk like for months, for years, sharing our experience, but we have only an hour. So the only suggestion for you is to be active. In case you have any questions, please write them down in the chat that you see in the stage chat or in the event chat. And when we are finished with our presentations, we will answer. We'll try to answer all those questions of yours and give you as much practical information and our experience that we can. Okay, so let's do this. And now I'll share my screen and hope that you can see this. Yeah, so basically what we'll be talking about right now, we will start with digital instruments for creative industries and basically this practical approach. Again, I think that all of you had such an experience with online because, again, as we said before, these 2 years of pandemic made us to jump it online, to digitalize ourselves and others. So basically, some features remain the same as they were for offline activities and for online also. So before planning your activity, your creative activity, please remember that you have to ask yourself 3 main questions. Basically, again, remains for offline as well. So the first question is what? So what that will be. You have to understand your event format, and answering this question will help you to understand basically what platforms and what tools you will use for that. For example, you say that, okay, I have a festival, then this is one bunch of tools. You say, okay, this is a conference, then this is another bunch of tools. And you say, for example, this will be only a webinar or a forum or a some kind of concert. So that is the main question that has to be asked in the first row. The second question you have to ask to your team and yourself is whom. I mean, you have to clarify your target audience, because depending on what target audience is this, the tools will be different. Again, I will not like concentrate on this topic, as we have Nastia's speech as well. And she will like practically on the cases, she will show you how it worked and why we choose this and that platforms for everybody. And the third main question is why. So basically here you have to define your KPIs, you have to define your goals and aims, and answer yourself, why do you need this event? Is this event really needed to be done? And in this case, it is like even more important to go to a target audience, to come back to the second question and to ask this question to your audience. And they will again tell you whether they are ready or not to be present in this event and whether it is needed. The platform choice depends upon these 6 factors. Of course, each of these factors can be divided into several smaller factors, but again, to make long story short, let's briefly go through each of them. So the first one that influences the platform choice is the audience. Again, as I mentioned before, for example, you have a audience of teachers who are living somewhere in regions, and you understand that, okay, my target audience is maybe, well, can be not very proficient in with computers, and cannot have the internet access like on the constant basis, and maybe not very good technical equipment, so that there should be an opportunity for them to use, for example, their smartphones. So here, I suppose that you will not use those complex platforms that we'll talk like in a minute, such as Hopin. As you are here now, you see that this is like complex. It has a lot of sections and so on and so forth. And also it eats a lot of like technical instruments of your computer and technical memory. You have to also understand the concept again of your event, and this also lies the platform choosing sphere. I mean that, for example, if you understand that this will be a concert, then you have to choose the platforms for the concerts. And I will tell you a bit of more how to choose the concert platforms, what like you should pay attention to. You have to understand if the interface of this platform is flexible. I mean, whether you can like remove or add any kind of activities, any kind of some other like for example, backstages, front stages, expos, and networking, and so on and so forth. Also, you have to understand whether the platform should be adaptive. I mean, whether people can use it on their mobile phones, on their tablets, or on their laptops. For example, this platform that we are here now, it is not like applicable to mobile devices, and it works, for example, only with 2 browsers, as you, I think, have learned from your technical guidelines. And this is also very important to understand. Then again, goes usability, because there are a lot of platforms now that are developing, and not not each of them is like not even flexible, but usable. Yeah, the interface also makes difference. And also you have to understand whether the platform has its like joint or simultaneous activities. For example, again, here at Hupin, I'm not like advertising this, but it is like very convenient to explain you on the example that you are like facing right now. So here, if you, for example, do not want to hear someone from the stage, you can go to the networking session, you can go to the sessions, you can like again go to the reception zone and see what happens next. So this is basically again a choice that is for participant to make. And if we go deeper, I will tell you about some general instruments that can be used for the events that you organize. So the first one is complex platforms. Complex platforms are those who have a lot of different activities in them. So again, it's Hupin, it's Pine, it's Remo, it's Brella. Again, we will share with you, there are a lot of information, not only in English, but in Ukrainian, in Russian also, that has a how to say characteristics of these platforms, where you can like read about each of them and Google it, because there are like a lot of platforms that are developing right now. So these are complex platforms. Again, from your concept, you choose whether you will use them. There are also narrow profile platforms such as Zoom, StreamYard, Teams, that are made basically for the one-on-one calls, but sometimes we can use them for some small webinars, small conferences, and small like forums, and for like team gathering. Or for example, Zoom can be used also for some training sessions and workshops, as they have those breakout rooms that can be used, and this is very convenient. And again, those narrow profile platforms, they are like used by people more, and they are pretty useful for them. Also in the communication, take part messengers, such as like there are some again complex messengers like Slack, Discord, that are very good for some such events as hackathons, for example, and Telegram, and yes, Viber, for example, if you have some workshop and you want to communicate with the participants and keep in track on their activities, they can also be used like that. Guidelines are very important. We understand, and basically you understand, as I think that I hope that you participated in like much in many events so far. I understand that guidelines, they are always there, and sometimes people do not read them, but they are pretty important, because not everything can be fixed from the perspective of people. Not like every person is can be available in terms of helping participants. So guidelines, they are very important, and they can be made by like Google Docs or Notion, as you saw the guidelines for this event, or any kind of platform that will allow you to like make screenshots and type some sentences. Also, very important thing, if you want to make your event interesting, and if you want people to actually take part in your event, sit and listen on the background what speaker says, you have to use collaboration instruments. There are a lot of those kind of instruments there, but again, you can go and see what Slido is, what Mural is, what Miro is, and choose the one that is the best option for you. And of course, like maybe it's not very good to call people and instruments, but again, people matters, and they are also like instruments for digitizing your activity. So those people are moderators, facilitators, MCs, yes, who like participate in your event. Those are facilitators, and actually the technical support, those people who are always there for you. They are invisible, but you always know that if anything happens from the technical side, they will be there for you. So these that like we use for the events. But again, if we go to the concert sphere and concerts, to those events, to those instruments that I told you before, we have to pay attention also on some other other tips that should be mentioned. So this, again, if you are dealing with live streaming, you have to have it in a high quality, because when, for example, people like, if you want to have a concert here in Hpin, you will not manage to do this like from the backstage as we are here now, because there can be the sound and the picture cannot be synchronized, and you see that the quality here is not like HQ1. So, and for concert, this is like very important to have this picture all set. You have to have no limit for the viewers, because this is very important for people to have an opportunity to join or to buy the ticket to a concert right away, because concerts, they are always about some emotional choice and emotion. So this emotional ticket buying thing can again influence your event from the like perspective of, from the money perspective. Again, you have to have white label video player, as you have to understand that some of the video players, they can block your content because of the rights and so on and so forth. So you have to like double check those information as well. You have to have secure paywall and monetization options. There are platforms that allow you to again to have those payment options right away on the platform. If not, that can be again very complicated. So our advice is to use like the platform where you can do everything. Again, you have to have an analytics dashboard, because for the concerts, and not only for the concerts, like for every conference or forum or whatever you do, you have to have this analytics dashboard. And my advice is to choose the platform that is basically, that has a lot and as much those options as they can afford. So speaking about the concerts, that can be a number of viewers, that can be geographic location, because again, this is important for you, amount of data transferred over time, and time spent watching. This is like the very good criteria for the musicians that are on your concert and for you as an organizers, and of course, revenue of time. Also, if you want to have those, and I hope that you want to have those videos saved and then maybe uploaded to other platforms, then you have to have this auto archiving stuff when video is recorded on the backlog, and it's always in a good quality. And of course, if you do this concert, like for many countries, you have to face those privacy and security issues that are applicable for each country, and they are like legal issues. So if we talk about budgeting, and always like, well, not always, but very a lot of people ask how to count, yes, the budgeting for the event, and there is no answer for that, because first you have to answer those 3 questions, then you have to like make a research and choose the platform, and then you have to like go to this platform, negotiate, and have the pricing for you, and understand what other like tips, tricks, and instruments do you need to handle this event. So basically, budgeting can consist of these like 5 options. So how that can be like counted. So the first one is a lot of platforms, they allow you to buy and then buy some additional services. For example, Zoom is the one platform that allows that. You can have the subscription to Zoom, and then if you have like a meeting or a forum for 100 people, you can like buy those webinar tools, or big conference tool that will like work for a month, and then that will expire. There are platforms, again, we're using the one right now where you have a subscription like on monthly basis or on yearly basis, and then you have to pay for each lead. I mean, for each person for each person that is registered on the platform, you have to like pay some additional amount of money. There are also platforms that use subscription model and then payment for each option. I mean, for example, if you want to have a stage open, okay, here you go, pay some amount. If you want to have a networking area open, please pay this amount of money. If you want to have those expos open, please, you have to pay additional amount of money. And then again, you are paying for each person. Those platforms are kind of very expensive. Again, if you have, depending on your concept, that can be worth it or not. So, but they look like pretty awesome, and they allow you to make your event unique from any kind of perspective, like design it as you like, choose whatever you want to do, rename site tabs, and so on and so forth. Also, there can be like, there are platforms that where you pay only for a person. For example, Umbrella is one of those instruments, but again, this person's fee can be like pretty higher than it is like when you have this subscription and paying for the lead option. And of course, almost every platform has has some discounts and special offers for NGOs or for educational initiatives. So again, now we are living in the world where everything is negotiable, because this market of online platforms, it grows like rapidly. And so do not be afraid to contact these platforms and ask them for a discount, for some special offer for you, for some partnership. Well, that can be of a great help if you have like not like low budget for the event. Okay, and now let's concentrate on some tips and tricks. I would love to share with you like all the steps of creating like different events, but again, as we told you before, that can like take us months, years, or at least like not 1 hour. But again, during these like 2 years of working online, we can definitely say some again, tips and tricks that you have to remember. Of course, some of them can be like very obvious for you, but I'm just asking you to think over whether you really remember those options every event you make. So the first thing is you have to test platforms and request demos. For example, when we choose the platform that we will use for the next event, we update even like those documents with all the platform's characteristics, even if we have used this platform like for eternity. For example, for this event, we also updated the information about Hubin, because those platforms, they are always like startup-like, and they have a lot of changes that are made right here, right now. And for example, if you see the platform like this today, tomorrow that can be like pretty different. So please do not be afraid to test platforms before you choose one, and request demos where people from the managers from the platform side will explain you and answer you all those questions you have. Again, very important. It is very important to make technical checks with speakers, moderators, creators, facilitators, and even participants. Because, for example, we had such an experience during one of our projects that like ended a week ago. It was civil match, where we like tested the platform with participants for them to understand how it works. So we made such technical pre-checks, pre-events. That can be also an issue for you not to have those technical issues when you are running the event itself. You have to have the exact timing. And this is very important for you as an organizer to understand the timing that the schedule of the event and participants sees on the schedule of the event. It is not the same as the one that you as an organizer should have. For example, when we were like, we connected with Nastya to the platform like 15 minutes before to test everything, to stay on one page, who says what and how that will gonna be, to test the lights, the sound, the cameras, and so on. So this is again very important, and this was in our schedule. So basically the schedule for speakers, moderators, and you as an organizers, and those that participants see in general, these are two different things. Please remember that, and don't forget to like tell everybody to like pay attention to those timing. And the last but not the least, if I'm not mistaken, that it is that you have to track, follow, and measure all your activities. I mean that everything that you do should be tracked. A dashboard, for example, in your platform, then it's okay, that will record everything for you. But do not be afraid to make those screenshots, screen recordings, for you to have those materials, because no one knows when you need it. And this is like very important, and sometimes people forget to track all those things. And well, as they say, screenshots do not burn. So now I'm giving a floor to my colleague Anastasia, who will share some cases, I suppose. And in case you have any questions, again, to me, to my part, please ask them into the event chat or in the stage chat. And also, if you click on like our icons, you will see more information about us, about our experience, and you can like direct message to us. Nastya, the floor is.
Hi all again. Thanks, Nastya, for this really detailed description. And now actually I will continue on how we implemented all of this mechanics in our cases, and how we actually come up with all of them. Because like, let me share first my presentation. Yep, it's here. So just So yeah, I will try to not to go into too much details. Why? Because actually about every case I can talk for a long time. And just a small overview that during these 2 years of pandemic, about 20 plus online projects for cultural and creative sectors, and actually we worked with different audiences from Ministry of Culture to officials to illustrators, designers, NGOs which are working in the cultural sector, etc. We work together with a lot of beautiful, amazing partners, and currently I think I would go into details in 3 main cases, which I think more relevant to today's meeting. And first one is online barcamp, which for the Book Arsenal and for Frankfurt Book Messe. Sorry for my German. I basically not proficient in it at all. So what is online barcamp and how we managed to make it online and interactive. So basically, online when partners, clients come to us, we usually start with a question about audience and about what the audience is using for in their real life. Why we are doing that? In order to somehow simplify the way. So in all these online processes, I think you should remember one way as one way. It should be as simple as possible, because for you it should be simple to explain, and for a participant it should be simple to understand. Currently we have thousands of platforms, and I will share with you some digest where you can check them all out. And every day new tools and new platforms appeared in our everyday life, but the ones which are simple, they are surviving and people are using them. Again, me and Nastya, we are more coming from the technical world, like technology world, and there we have a kind of different set of tools as well, which are more sophisticated though, but still they are some of them we also try to implement, and some of them we also try to adapt and explain to different kind of audience. So why was online barcamp and actually all our cooperation with Book Arsenal so special is that we created all together the technical flow for interactive discussion and working groups where the actual topics were discussed, and the wrap-ups of these sessions in online were put it online and actually took into work in the further development of the industry. We used Hopin platform as we're using now. I think all of you already know this platform, and there is we shouldn't take time to explain that. We also use Miroboard, and we also use scribing. If this is I will show you now how it actually looks like. So this is a very good tool for visual facilitation, and there is a special graphic illustrators and designers who is doing infographics of what was said during the working groups or session, and this is actually a very good thing to sum everything up. So in the online, the content should be more clear, more to the point, and more visualized than in the offline world, because in the offline world I think we somehow covering this with a human touch, with the emotions, which we can read from other human face. So why Hopin also works more, because it's actually when we are starting to work with the client, we do the comparison for different kinds of platforms we together can use. So and there is different factors such as, first of all, up, if it's simple, if it's easy to set up, how cost effective this is comparatively to other, and what are the basic functions. So working again for these 2 years, we say that Hopin is actually the basic plan is the most cost effective, and I mean there is much more cost efficient platforms in the market, but this one is full of possibilities and really easy to set up. Check this out for your events, of course, and let me show you the example of scribing. And I also somehow, okay, I think I need to share another screen. Just stop sharing this one and share another window, which is here. Can you see my screen now? Yes. So what is this? This is example of scribing from our latest event. One more case. Again, we will. This is from the civil match case, where they actually put on one picture what was said during the panel, and this is also work like a good content, and it's also work like a nice tool for making the event interactive and more thing to remember from that. There are also digital tools for illustrations, but still you need a facilitator to do this. The main thing in all of our events, again, and all of our technical facilitation is also connected to user journey, and we from the first thing we do, we actually start to do the user journey. We call it the step-by-step guide on how the participant or how the person could feel and what she or he would do during the flow of the event. Next case. Next case, we put to tell you more. Sorry, about another types of platform, and which is also was used for creative and the platform we use for our more technical events, but also suitable for cultural events, and I think more suitable for some kind of concerts and more mass events, called Pine. This is actually, this platform was born in Ukraine, but it's registered in United States. Again, everything that we say with Nastya have nothing to do with advertising. We are not working as a partners with any of the platforms. We just use them, and for us it's one of the most adaptable platform. And if you want to make something complex, like Selector Pro was making an international forum for music industry, which consisted of closed events, open events, big events, concerts, and also private personal meeting schedules for different kinds of partners during the event. The Pine is something for you to use. Also, we used Miraboard in this event, because some Miraboard, there's different kinds of that things like mirror boards, Padlets, mural, different kinds of instruments where you can like the scriber, but more precisely with the stickers, use it with the pencils, digital pencils, use it as some kind of a whiteboard for your event. It's also very useful and it could be integrated in any of the platform, because it's just a link. You need to set it up, but again, do it simple and bright, because people, can need to not to have effective tools of collaboration, but also interesting and visual things. So Pine platform is a thing to check for the more complex events like Selector Pro. The next one, sorry. The next one is a hackathon. This is the event we are actually preparing now, and for the second year in a row. And I think the format of the hackathon, etc., or ideathon, is what should be discussed. I think even separately, because this is a very complex format. And the thing here, as actually in every case, is not the digital platform itself, but what my colleague was saying in the first place, that is a strategy, audience, and why are you doing this event? And structure, of course, program. So first we are making concept, and this is the most difficult part of everything. And then we are choosing the tools which we are going to use for this event. So for the hackathons, for this kind of complex format, because this is like 48 hours, very intense competitive format, where last year we have 1,200 participants at once doing generating projects, developing projects, a lot of mentors, about 120 mentors, about 200 teams working simultaneously and doing progress. And of course, without digital tools, even if you're a super professional facilitator, it's very difficult to manage all the participants. So Slack is actually a very good complex tool to manage all the channels, to manage all the communication. I think, sorry, something with my throat today. With a Slack, so Slack is a very good tool for managing multi-channel communication, sharing materials, and check this out. And actually, our registration for Hackathon Hack for Culture open, and we unfortunately everything will be in Ukrainian in terms of the teams, but we can invite you to join us as a mentors. We have an English-speaking mentor channel where you can check out how the platform works and how the hackathon is actually works. You will have the opportunity to talk to teams and to give them some cool professional advice. Also, we use such things as Calendly or Doodle. This is thing for scheduling meetings. For those who don't know, this is very comfortable, even not only in the online projects or online events, but also in the working process, in your team working process. It works like you have a link with all the schedule, and the person just scheduling you, making you an appointment, and you confirm it or not confirm. We use Calendly and Doodle in our hackathons and ideathons for scheduling meetings between mentors and teams, between mentors and teams, and between team mentors. Also, we use Zoom because it's like most easiest and well-known thing to video platform to use, and Typeform for registrations, but you also can use Google Form, for example, if it's more simple for you. Here, I just decided to put our facilitation and visual facilitation. This is, like you can see here, first, this is the mirror with different kinds of networking. So we actually set up different kinds of so we said it was a networking event. So we visualized participants and put their contact there, and also visualized the geography. There is also in the other part the request from different participants where and how they can meet with each other. So you can go, you can see, you can find a person you're interested in, and you can just get in touch with it in this interactive format with a special Zoom link near the board of facilitation. And the second screenshot is one of our ideathons where I think 100 people were working simultaneously. And if you will see it in the real life, it's like really like the house of like ants, where everything is just like moving and working, and this is also really cool to see how it works. Again, the main thing here is to somehow put everything in to think in advance on how participant will behave, and to make all these visual boards also as visual as possible, so people understand where they go, what they should do, and what result they could have in that short period of time that you send them to do it. From my side, that's it. I think I also already don't have much time. We still have some time for questions and answers. So just a minute, stop sharing. Yeah. So we are ready to answer your questions, maybe give you some ideas, some feedback. And last but not the least, it's all the creative process. Every project is custom. We don't have any algorithm on how we create the project. Of course, we have some methodology for the formats, but for each and every project, we analyze the audience, we analyze the content, we analyze the country we are working with, and we prepare the custom set of tools. So I think my time is over, and Ira is here. Ira, thanks a lot for inviting us, and great to see you.
Thank you for this conversation, for this presentation you had. I don't see any questions in the moment, but I have, as usual, I have some questions from my side. First of all, thank you for helping us to implement the Alteration program and all the different kind of activities that we had during these 4 months. And my question would be about the evaluation of, did we choose the right platform? So we had the event, we had our platform chosen, we used it for our activities. How can we evaluate, what is the approach to evaluate if this platform was fine for us? How do we understand that this was suitable, that it met our needs, and we made the right decision?
Maybe I'll start, and then Nastya can add some that. Basically, that depends upon the KPIs and upon the measuring process of your event. For example, if you have a KPIs for people who watched the event and people who were struggling in the way of reaching to the platform. So was that difficult for them? Was that not very difficult for them? For example, when we had the hackathon the previous year, there were a lot of creatives, creative industries and people from cultural sphere who know nothing, a lot of them who didn't know what Slack is, and they were like, oh my God, why can't we use Viber or Telegram? Why should we have to register to this platform? But then again, we had some time for them to learn them how to use that. And basically they were after event, they were saying hey, thank you so much, it's so cool, digital tools, we knew a lot of different stuff. And that was basically the thing that worked. But again, I think that depends upon the time, whether you have time to learn people how to use the platform. But from our perspective, we see it, mainly we look on the technical and user-friendly side of the event. For example, if the platform works fine, if everything is loaded, if speakers are happy, if participants are happy, then we are happy with the platform. If not, then we will look for another platform. But again, as Nastya said, that we always analyze each year, we can, in each event, we choose different platforms that meet the expectations and the need of the audience and the organizers itself. So yeah, that should be your own criteria, but again, facing the technical issues for the first.
Yeah, and I will also add that this is also important to if you want to innovate and to choose any other new tool. We have also such cases then because Hopin for us, we know we have the set of the platforms which we work with. We know the support. We know that if anything happen, we know where to run and how to save everything. But if we have the thing to choose something new and something different, it's much more time needed for the preparation process, because we need to have that. We need to understand that all risks are covered from all that side. So the terms is also very important for us while we're choosing everything and testing everything.
Thank you. And very practical question from the real experience. If I organize an event and I tested the platform and everything worked fine, and then speakers come, like we had the technical check and everything was brilliant, but then the event is starting, the speakers are coming, they are entering the backstage or the link, the platform, whatever platform it is, and nothing works. And for example, speaker cannot connect, or moderator cannot connect, or people don't see anything on the screen. What should I do?
Very nice question, and I think that was pretty practical one from our experience, basically. Well, in this case, well, in my presentation, there was like the 6 variant of general instruments that you use. Those instruments are people. So for that, especially in the online event, you should have facilitators, moderators, and basically MCs who can jump in any second, and without any preparation, without any written script, they can like say something and have those like 5 minutes that are like basically needed for the technical support to support the speaker and to find out what went wrong, or to jump into his or her car and find the internet that can also not work. So this is where people is the main part, where they can like have those time when everything should be said. But again, there were in our if I remember correctly, there was a not in alteration events, but there was a time when speaker could not connect, like everything just went wrong. He lost the lights and the internet was not working, so there was no chance. And we decided to replace the speaker with another speaker. So we like called urgently to another speaker. He jumped in, had his lecture, and then we organized the lecture with the speaker who was missing, like the next day, if I'm not remember, or just like replace them both with their timing. So yeah, this is when the crisis management, how to say, skills jump in, and yeah, you are welcome to create.
I can add to that actually while I was listening, remembering the offline experience which we've had before, and experience of managing big summits or conferences, when no matter how many mics you have, something will went wrong and you will need to find a mic in 5 minutes somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Or for example, in the whole concert hall, a big one, the internet is just laid out and you need to call the internet company and shout at them, and I don't know, call the police and shout at them to call to the internet company, because you have 2K people who is waiting for you to start, and who is actually from tech industry and all crying because of the lack of the internet. So actually, I think this is what event management is, and I think all the cultural, professional, creative industries, we all connected somehow with event industry, and we know how to tackle this kind of things and instruments.
From my side, I would add that, for example, today I came to the office to have this conference from the office, and I am working from my office computer. But knowing that sometimes it's not very fast, I took my laptop with me. So this is my plan B. or I know already from the experience that if my internet connection is lost, because this sometimes happens in our office, I will use my mobile internet and will connect to my cell phone to to have the internet connection, to have the Wi-Fi, and we had different, of course, cases with speakers when they lost their connection or when everything started working. So yeah, that's pretty interesting experience. But after that, I think you already experienced enough not to be afraid. So I would also add that if this situation happened, the first thing that you should not do is not panicking, because panic will definitely not help you in this situation. As far as I understand, we don't have any other questions at the moment, so I would like to thank you one more time for all the great cooperation that we had and for sharing your experiences. By the way, you were mentioning that you can share a link with different tools, so if you can do it, please put it in our event chat so that everyone could check it. I will also send it together with the follow-up email for everyone who registered to this event. So let me thank you one more time for this presentation and for sharing. I hope you enjoyed this experience as well.
Yeah, we do. Thank you so much for inviting and for these 3-4 months that we are dealing with the Alteration events. It's like our one of the main projects that we are like thinking over when we wake up and we go to sleep. So thank you so much. I hope everyone enjoyed, and we'll be happy to like answer all the questions that can appear like maybe lately and share our experience as well.
Yes, thanks a lot for inviting and for the really great cooperation that we had.
Thank you. And from my side, I also would like to some final words on behalf of the whole Alteration program team. There were actually a lot of people, and my colleagues from the Ukrainian Institute, for example, who managed the biggest parts of the sectoral events. And if you participated in some of them, you could interact with them as well. So thank you to all the program managers and colleagues from the Ukrainian Institute. I would also like to thank to our colleagues from the European Union delegation to Ukraine, who were very supportive and who were our partners in implementing this event. A piece of thanks and good wishes from me to Cultural Relations Platform, who supported our idea of having this Alteration program and of creating this handbook, which we presented to you. And this was an interesting challenge and experiment for all of us. And thank you to Digitizing.Space and also colleagues Lilia, Natalia, which are at the backstage helping us with all the hidden processes that participants cannot see, but they are there in place. And one more thanks to Anna Karnauch and Darina Zhevoglyadova for working on the handbook, and to our editors and designers who helped us with that as well. And thank you to all the speakers who accepted our invitation and participated and shared their experience and knowledge. And the biggest thanks, of course, to the audience, to participants who, although had some digital fatigue and online conferences fatigue, still were coming to our events and were trying to get as much valuable information and experience out of this as possible. Thank you for being with us, and we really hope that you will share the handbook, you will share the experience, your experience in transforming your projects and your institutions in these difficult times. And I wish you to always have enough skills and resistance to stress and resilience to manage any kind of crisis. But I wish you not to have many of crises and challenges, but to enjoy, and wish you all good luck. Thank you, and